this is what we were waiting for from last week? We gonna get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Capsule, where you're going to be getting your weekly dose of pro wrestling talk. And I'm your host, B. So welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to be talking about AEW Dynamite. Last night was a hot mess. I was looking forward to this match because I wanted to see what Toni was going to do, especially with everything that happened last week and the news that came out about the beef between Hangman Adam Page and CM Punk. And then we're hearing there's backstage issues and the locker room is just hostile here and there. And there's just stuff going on and Toni can't get his wrestlers together. Like I said in my last video about AEW, my rant, like Toni needs to get his ish together and get his people in line. Man, I was not expecting the match to go the way that it did. But anyway, I'm rambling. This is sort of going to be like a ramble rant type of thing because I have a lot to say, but I'm going to try to keep it as concise as humanly possible, but I cannot make any promises. But yeah, I was looking forward to this match to see what Toni was going to do, and I was expecting this match to be a main event match. After all, it is for the undisputed AEW World Championship, I'm going to say one of the biggest championship in the company, in AEW, and that's not a main event. That's my first red flag right there. And then the match is going, and Jon Moxley wins. I'm happy about that. I like Jon Moxley. You guys already know how I feel about CM Punk. I'm not going to even do all that and go into it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, watch my last video. I'm going to put it here, one of these places. It's going to be either here or here. You guys can check that out and see what I was talking about with last week and everything that happened last week. But anyway, the match didn't even last long. It was under 5 minutes. I think it was like 3.5 minutes. First of all, that is so disrespectful to Jon Moxley. First of all, the disrespect, part one, was the fact that he was interim AEW World Champion. I feel like I said before in my last video, like this whole interim champion is BS. I feel like it is stupid. Like I said before, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the interim aspect that AEW is doing is super stupid. I feel like if you cannot defend your title, you need to relinquish said title. There's no, you're still champion at home, getting better, healing. No, I do not think that is smart at all. I think it is stupid and messy. And I feel like if you cannot defend your title, you should lose your title. And then you should have like a tournament or whatever to see who will win the belt. And they will be the AEW champion. No other champion within that same, like none of that. Like I feel like that's stupid. So first and foremost, I thought that I was lame that's how Jon Moxley won. He puts on dope matches through and through. And for him to be a part of this type of match, a squash match for CM Punk, messy, super messy. And I've been hearing through the grapevine of like wrestling news that it was Moxley's idea and CM Punk agreed to it. Okay, this whole thing with the whole news thing, I don't care. And the reason why I don't care is wrestling fans, like aside from people like me who have YouTube channels who do look at wrestling news because it is a part of their job, it is a part of their content creation. There's wrestling fans out there that are not worrying about wrestling news outside of the ring. They're focused on what they're watching on TV, which makes sense. So it's like all this drama, all this mess with Hangman Adam Page and CM Punk, and then this whole thing with Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara. Eddie getting suspended because he was swinging at Sammy because he was talking about his size, like the messiness. And then you have Thunder Rosa. We're going to get into that. Even with Thunder Rosa having issues with Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, all this mess in the back, and then almost forgot Colt Cabana and CM Punk and him, like all this damn drama. I'm not here for it. We only know about this stuff because of wrestling news. So when I'm about to come at some people, so these wrestling YouTube channels, these wrestling podcasters on YouTube talking about how, well, the news says this, that, and the third, and because of that, this is why this storyline is going like this, that, and the third. Like, get out of here with that. Wrestling fans who are not paying attention to freaking wrestling news and only focusing on the product, because this is storytelling. We are only getting what we're getting from the stories. So anything outside of that is hearsay, nearsay, because what you're portraying is what you're portraying. And quite honestly, based off all the crap that was going on, especially since last week with CM Punk and all that other crap, and then this week, I see, and you guys can let me know in the comments below, it is spilling into storyline. Yes, CM Punk had a messed up foot, and he probably did re-injure his foot, even though that whole thing with the foot, him kicking with one foot and then falling down and grabbing the other foot, the actual injured foot. He didn't kick with the injured foot. That's a little questionable, but I did stop and rewind it and see that he did twist it a certain way, but still, that's iffy as well. We only know what we know. I am just irritated with these big wrestling podcasters who are conjuring up these elaborate storylines and excuses for Tony Khan as if they work with Tony Khan secretly, trying to make sense of the stupidity that happened last night in that AEW World Championship match between Jon Moxley and CM Punk. The fact of the matter is, that match was stupid. The match was short. I feel like that was a disrespect. Shoot, if it really is true that Jon Moxley came up with it, what the heck is I don't even understand. I don't understand. And if this whole fiasco, this whole stupid squash match was to leave room for people to be like, oh, I want to see what's going to happen next week. Oh, I want to see what's going to happen in 2 weeks at All Out. Man, that did not make me excited for All Out. That did not make me excited to see what's going to happen on Rampage in next week's Dynamite and these other pay-per-views following. That didn't make me interested in seeing more. It actually made me not want to watch AEW product in general. It really did. That didn't do anything for me. That didn't make me excited. Ooh, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I wonder when CM Punk's going to come back. Ooh, no, that didn't make me feel that way at all. That pissed me off. I feel like I wasted 3.5 minutes of my life. And I feel like that match freaked it up for the next match that was after with the whole trios tournament, because that match was dope as freak. And it sucked because it put me in a bad mood after watching that, quite honestly. The whole Moxley and Punk match made me not want to watch the rest of it. I mean, of course I did, because I'm a wrestling fan, but that was freaking trash. That made me lose interest in watching it, and it made me just be in a bad mood. I couldn't even enjoy the trios tournament match, the actual main event, because that was doper and better than the Undisputed AEW World Championship match. Way better, and longer. And quite honestly, I feel like if this match happened the same way, if this match was at All Out and this happened in the same way, there would be an uproar in Chicago. So, I see why this one would happen on Dynamite, but how it happened and it was just so distasteful for me. It really freaking was. And if you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter, follow me. If you guys follow me on those social media platforms, I was going in. I couldn't stop posting. I was just so upset and pissed off. And I know I'm not the only one, because I saw the comments on AEW's news feeds. I saw it. People are pissed off. There's people that are full-on CM Punk fans and are pissed off about it. And then there's people who are not CM Punk fans and they're pissed off about it. And there's just people, but then there's of course those people who, like I was saying before, this is gonna be CM Punk making a heel turn. I'm just like, what? This is what my problem I have with. Okay, so let's say that this is leaving room for CM Punk to make a heel turn. If that is the case, this was an effed up way to do it. And I call BS. And the reason why I call BS is because before that comment, that jab at Hangman Adam Page last week, he was all for his audience, his fans, like CM Punk, ever since he came back to wrestling and is in AEW, every time this man would come out and cut a promo, he's just kissing up to the fans. He's just happy, jolly, just like scoop-de-doo, like all the time. Like he's never pissing on the fans. And that makes sense. He's a face. Like I get that. So for him to turn heel, it does not make sense to me for that to be a part of the storyline on purpose. No, I feel like I said before, backstage crap and backstage secret locker room issues are bleeding onto TV. And Tony has no choice but to move accordingly. That's what I believe is going on. And this is literally Tony, if CM Punk is really turning heel, I feel like that is Tony Khan covering CM Punk to make it look like that BS crap that he was saying last week was on purpose. Because people are now booing. I remember when CM Punk came out last night, oh my gosh, like I will always hear like a little bit of boos here and there, but they were very, 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 very small. But they were very clear last night. I heard the cheers and then I heard the boos. It was almost like John Cena was coming out, like legit. And like I said, that is real. That is real stuff. That is not storyline. That is not backstage. And forever, whoever's saying that it is, I call BS. I call BS. I really do. It does not line up. It looks like Tony Khan is covering tracks and trying to make sense of it as if we're stupid, but we're not. What matters is what we saw on TV last night. And last night, that was trash. That was absolute trash. I don't care who came up with the idea. It was stupid and it was executed stupidly. And now you have pissed off wrestling fans who are considering not even watching AEW anymore because of that. And now we're finding out that freaking Jon Moxley and CM Punk are going to have a rematch at All Out. I don't say what you want, but I call bullcrap. Like, no one in their right mind was for what happened last night. And of course, you're going to need to try to salvage the broken pieces of what was Dynamite last night and have a freaking rematch for the AEW World Championship because that was trash. That was complete and total trash. And I feel like this just proves my point. So haters who totally disagree with me, just put it all in the comments. Tell me what you think because I'm not seeing the sense. I'm not seeing the good story telling right now. Like that whole match was atrocious and they're trying to fix it now with them doing the whole rematch thing at All Out. So just whatever. And I'm sorry, this whole rematch at All Out does not make up for last night. It doesn't. Tony, it does not. It does not make up for it. It was still trash. And another thing, I'm curious to see how this whole MJF thing is going to come into play. What, is he going to interfere with the match at All Out and it's going to be like a DQ? Or is CM Punk going to win in his hometown Chicago and then MJF is going to make his return? Like, whichever one he chooses, whichever one Tony chooses, it's still going to be so predictable. And it's just, Guys, please let me know in the comments below what you thought about last night, especially the whole Punk and Moxley match. Just let me know what y'all thought. Please, I want to have a full-on conversation about this. Can I just say that I wanted Kylan King to win against Britt Baker. And I don't know if I'm going to be the only one standing by themselves, but I'm over DMD. I really am. And it's funny because when she did that at one point with the match, literally, I didn't hear very many people, because usually when she says DMD, you hear the fans, DMD. I barely heard that junk. I really did. Like, people are over it. I know I'm over it. I remember at one point I was like, oh my gosh, I love Britt Baker, DMD. I'm here for it. She's gotten so much better on the mic. Like, she's a really good heel right now. We need more women in AEW with promo skills. Now, her ring skills, I'm not going to say they suck, because they don't. I've seen far worse female wrestlers on the AEW roster who are just ain't it. They just ain't it. Britt Baker isn't one of them, but I wouldn't say she's the best. I wouldn't say she's the top of the line. I feel like she needs definitely a lot more work in the ring department. I've seen very limited moves from her, especially as of late. Kylan King, so good in the ring, and she's technical, and I'm a huge fan of Kylan King. I really am, and I feel like she should have won that last night. I really do. But Britt Baker won, and I feel like even with that was kind of lame too, because I'm like, it would have been all right if Kylan King would have won that, especially since Britt Baker has a title shot at All Out. Like, I don't feel like that would have hurt her if she would have lost to Kylan King. That's my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? You guys let me know what you thought too. Like, I'm over Britt Baker. This whole thing with Thunder Rosa and her being out because of an injury, and now once again with this whole interim crap, we're having a match, a 4-way match for the interim AEW Women's World Championship. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Toni Storm? Okay, here's my problem with this. Why are 2 of those female wrestlers have already been AEW Women's World Champions? Hikaru and Britt. I want to see some fresh faces. Like, I'm so over it. I'm so freaking over it. It's a hot mess. It's a hot damn mess. I'm over it. Like, the company is less than 5 years old, and we're already seeing multiple, like, people who have had the championships multiple times on the women and the men's roster. I'm over it. I want to see some fresh faces. Tony Khan, what is the point of hiring all of these freaking wrestlers, these amazing wrestlers, people who have come from WWE, people who have come from New Japan, people who have come from Impact, people who come from everywhere, NWA, everywhere. And then I'm finding out that Thunder Rosa is having issues with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and Britt threw shots at Thunder Rosa after she won her match with Kylan King. And I'm like, is that real? Is that fake? I'm trying my hardest to not be a mark, y'all. I'm trying my hardest not to be a mark. But what you guys perceive as me being a mark is me knowing backstories in wrestling news outside of the ring that makes sense as to why people are acting the way they are acting on TV. That is my whole dang point. My whole point. My whole dang point. Guys, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Thank you guys for watching, and you will see me in the next episode. Signing off. Bye.